Money doesn't change your family. It just removes the reason they had to hide what they already believed about you. You find this out on a Thursday, standing in your kitchen, holding a phone with a bank alert on it. And the first thing you feel isn't joy. It's the instinct to put the phone face down on the counter like it's something you got caught with. You don't tell anyone that day. Not your mother, not your sister. You go to work the next morning like nothing happened, because some part of you already knows what happens the moment you say the number out loud. You've watched it happen to other people. The number changes, and so does the way a room looks at you. Here's what you don't know yet, sitting in that kitchen. You've been quietly doing this your whole adult life without a name, underpricing your success on Sunday dinner, saying it's going okay when it's going better than okay, driving the older car on purpose when you visit home. You thought that was humility. It wasn't. There's actual research on this out of villages in Kenya and Senegal, where economists found something they now call a kinship tax. When people know a family member is earning more, there's real, constant social pressure to redistribute it, and researchers found that people will accept a smaller amount of money just for the chance to hide how much they really have. You'd been paying that tax for years without ever knowing its name. You just called it not making things weird.
You hold the secret for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of normal dinners, normal phone calls, your mother asking if you're eating enough, your sister complaining about her landlord like always. For 6 weeks, you're just her son, just your sister's brother. You'd forgotten how good that felt, being nobody's opportunity. Then your sister needs a cosigner for an apartment, and in a moment of feeling generous and stupid and a little bit proud, you tell her, not the exact number, just enough. Enough for her eyes to change shape for half a second before she hugs you and says she's so happy for you. And you believe her because you want to. 3 days later, your mother calls, and she doesn't ask how you are, she asks if you've talked to your cousin Danny. You haven't talked to Danny in 4 years. She says he's going through something, and it would mean so much if you reached out. You understand immediately that Danny does not need a phone call. Danny needs what phone calls are code for now. You've become fluent in a language overnight that you didn't know your family spoke. This is the part nobody prepares you for. It's not one dramatic ask, it's 1,000 small reclassifications, each one small enough that objecting to it would make you the villain. Your aunt starts every conversation with a compliment about your success before pivoting every single time to a problem that has a dollar-shaped solution. Your uncle starts joking that you don't return calls anymore 3 days after the one time you didn't pick up. The joke isn't really a joke. A joke is just how people ask for something they don't feel entitled enough to ask for directly, and you're hearing that sentence in your head for the rest of your life now. Your sister is the one who surprises you because she doesn't ask you for anything. She starts avoiding you instead. She stops inviting you to the small things, the impromptu Friday dinners, the walks, the nothing conversations you used to have 3 times a week. When you finally ask her why, she says carefully, like she rehearsed it, that she doesn't want to be one more person who needs something from you. And you realize the money hasn't just changed how people cake from you, it's changed how the people who never wanted anything have started treating themselves like a burden in advance. That's a cost nobody puts on the spreadsheet. You didn't just gain a target on your back, you lost the one person who used to just want your company. You try setting a boundary exactly once, gently, the way you'd rehearsed it in the shower. You tell your mother you can help, but not with everything, not every time, and that you need her to stop being the messenger for people who are afraid to ask you themselves. She goes quiet in a way that's worse than yelling, and 2 days later you hear secondhand that you've changed, that the money went to your head. Nobody says this to your face. It travels the way these things always travel, through the family group chat you're technically in, but somehow never see the real version of. You start noticing who never asks. Your father, who calls every Sunday at the same time and talks about the weather and a show he's watching and nothing else for a year. Your oldest friend from high school who still argues over the check at dinner like nothing in either of your lives has changed. The people who never ask are the only people you can be sure were never keeping score in the first place. And you start to understand that this, and not the number in your account, is the actual filter the money ran everyone through. It didn't create anything new in your family. It just switched on a light in a room that was always the same shape. The hardest night comes almost a year in, at your mother's birthday dinner, when your uncle, 3 drinks deep, says loudly enough for the table that it must be nice to not have to worry like the rest of us do. Nobody laughs this time. Nobody defends you either. Your sister looks at her plate, your mother changes the subject to the cake, and you sit there understanding all at once that the family isn't going to protect you from this, because on some level, most of them think you owe them the discomfort. Silence, you're learning, is a family's favorite way of picking a side without admitting it picked one. You leave early. You don't fight about it in the car with your father, who offers to drive you back to your place even though it's out of his way, and he never explains why. He just drives, and somewhere around the highway on-ramp, with no wind-up at all, he tells you something he's never told you before. 15 years ago, before you were old enough to understand what any of it meant, he turned down a promotion that would have doubled his salary because it meant moving the family away from your grandmother in her last years, and because, this is the part he says almost as an aside, like it costs him something to say it, he'd watched what money did to his own brother's marriage a decade earlier and decided he'd rather stay smaller and stay close. He'd never told anyone that, not your mother, not his brother. He just quietly chose the version of his life where nobody ever had a reason to look at him differently, and he let everyone believe he simply never got the offer. You sit with that the whole ride home. Your father spent 15 years being underestimated by his own family, on purpose, because he'd seen exactly what you're living through now, and decided in advance it wasn't worth it to him. You thought you were the first person in this family to ever hold a secret this heavy. You weren't even the first person in that car. Nothing gets resolved that night. Your uncle doesn't apologize. Your sister doesn't come back to the version of herself from before you told her the number. The family doesn't return to whatever it was before this started, because families don't reset. They just find the next shape and settle into it. But something in you loosens anyway, quietly on that highway, not because anyone earned your forgiveness, because you finally understand that the money didn't reveal a single new thing about anyone. It just turned up the volume on who they already were, including your father, who chose smallness on purpose long before you ever had a choice to make. The next Sunday, your father calls at the same time he always does. He talks about the weather. He talks about a show he's watching. He doesn't ask you for anything, the same as every week for a year. And for the first time, you understand that this, the boring, uneventful, nothing phone call, was never nothing at all. It was the one version of love in your family that never had a price attached to it. You just couldn't hear it until the year everyone else got loud.